Hello and welcome to the guide for new Canadian immigrants. In this video, we shall list the various documents you need to acquire and prepare in order to ensure a smooth landing in Canada. This is considered the first step since it is the most time consuming. However, it can be carried out along with the remaining steps listed in the guide. If your passport is set to expire within 6 months, the immigration authorities may return it without stamping and ask you to renew it before getting it stamped. Apart from the expiry date, one important aspect to remember is that there must be separate first and last names on the passport. In some countries, the entire name is written in the first or last name column, and this can cause minor inconveniences in Canada. In recent years, Canada is moving towards digitization of services. Almost all online forms, federal and provincial, require a valid first and last name. If your documents lack either, you will have to visit federal or provincial offices to get your work done, which will result in delays and wastage of time. The original COPR or confirmation of permanent residence papers need to be presented at the time of first entry. Copies are not accepted and lamination of the COPR makes it invalid. Thus, you can be denied entry by the immigration officer reviewing your documents. Proof of funds can be presented in 5 different forms. However, the document should be in the name of the primary applicant. If the secondary applicant is accompanying the primary applicant, the documents may be in their name. All funds greater than 10,000 Canadian dollars should be declared at time of entry. Carrying large quantities of cash is not recommended as it may trigger questioning about source of funds. Less than 3-month-old bank statement and demat account statements may be acceptable provided you can prove that the funds are readily available to you. Travelers' checks are not available in all countries and their popularity has decreased in recent years. That being said, a demand draft in Canadian dollars is an easy and secure way to bring money into Canada. Once deposited in your bank account, these funds are available for use within a few hours. Some provinces provide provincial coverage from day one, so no travel insurance is required. However, if you are traveling to a province which does not do that, try to opt for a Canadian company for ease of claims settlement. Travel insurance can have medical and/or non-medical components. Medical insurance worth 25,000 Canadian dollars is considered sufficient per person. In addition to medical coverage, travelers should opt for baggage loss or damage insurance, trip cancellation, and trip interruption insurance in order to ensure a stress-free journey. Goods accompanying and goods to follow forms need to be submitted at the time of first entry. These are an important aspect of landing and we shall be explaining them in a separate video. Jewelry evaluation can be done in 2 ways. An easy way is to opt for an evaluation through a bona fide jeweler in your country. This may be subject to certain fees by the jeweler but is a foolproof method. The second way is a DIY in which you can print high-resolution colored photographs for each piece or set of jewelry. These photographs should be accompanied with receipts of purchase indicating the value of pieces displayed in the photo. You can choose to self-evaluate the pieces according to the prevailing market prices. Since no duty is levied on the jewelry you declare at time of first entry, please provide accurate values and descriptions. If you have a valid driver's license from certain countries such as USA, you can get it exchanged for a Canadian license at the drive test center. In other cases, you can use an international driving permit to drive in Canada for up to 90 days from date of entry. However, the moment you get your G1, the international driving permit becomes invalid. In order to expedite the process of obtaining a Canadian driving license, you should bring a DL extract along with you. The DL extract should be less than 6 months old at time of presenting it at the drive test center. It must be signed and stamped by the issuing authority in order for it to be considered valid. A valid extract with more than 4 years of experience helps in reducing time required to obtain a non-probationary Canadian driving license. It may, in some cases, also lead to lower car insurance rates for drivers. Those of you moving with children must ensure that you carry the birth records or adoption papers apart from the passports. Though this is not a mandatory requirement in all cases, it is better to be prepared if any additional documentation is needed. School records and immunization records are mandatory requirements for admitting children into Canadian schools. Parents must ensure that these records are up to date and less than 3 months old at time of landing. Here is a list of some other documents that you may bring to Canada. Most of these documents may be redundant at time of entry but can cause needless delays in case you ever need them. Thank you for watching. Please check the video description for relevant links. In our next video, we shall talk about goods accompanying and goods to follow lists. Stay tuned.